Sadie's death. She was vibrant and bright. She had so much life in her. Did you know her favorite flower? It was a lily. They marked the beginning of spring and the rebirth of life. Sadie was so full of life. She was so vibrant. She was a straight-A student too, always one-upping me. I used to hate it, but now I miss it. Her sense of humor was impeccable. No issue ever bothered her. She could just brush them aside. The world was never an issue for her. Or so it seemed. People think they know what happened, but I'm the one who really knows the truth. That words are weapons too. Sadie was so excited to finally be able to have her best friend Maddie over for a sleepover. It was Friday night, which meant popcorn, movies, and a good gossip session. Even shy, naive Clara was there for the night. Her parents never allowed her to have a night out with friends. I was in the next room over, and overheard every conversation and every laugh through the thin walls. Maddie was catching up on her newsfeed when something caught her attention. She discovered a confessional account on Twitter. For the next hour, the girls sat around giggling about the secrets that were once between friends and were now sprawled across the web for the world to see. Sucks for them, Maddie said with a smirk. With a saddened heart, Clara cried. It upsets me that people want to tear each other down, especially women, because this fight is everyone's fight. Sadie nervously laughed. It's sad, but it happens in high school. For the next hour, Sadie was glued to her phone. It was constantly ping-pinging at the arrival of every new text. The sound was driving Maddie crazy. She had finally had enough. Her voice carried through the walls. Who keeps texting you at this hour? And don't say it's your mother, because I know it's not. Sadie replied shyly. Oh, no one really. It's just a friend. Really, Maddie said. I don't have any friends texting me at 2 in the morning. Well, Clara said, that's because we're all here, silly. Maddie looked at her. Clara, I love you and all, but sometimes your stupidity really irritates me. Clara meekly replied, Oh, I'm sorry, Maddie. I didn't mean to upset you, but please don't tear me down. We're girls. We're friends. We're supposed to support one another. Okay, whatever, Maddie said. Sadie, seriously, who is texting you? Sadie looked around her nervously. Well, it's John. Maddie clearly became angry and upset with what she had heard. What do you mean you're texting John? You know he and I used to talk. We practically dated for 3 months. I heard some shuffling next door, but I wasn't sure exactly what had happened. Sadie's voice rang out. I know, but the last time you guys were anything serious was back in freshman year. We're already halfway through junior year now. I heard heavy footsteps stomping. Then Maddie's voice thundered in the silence. Honestly, Sadie, do you even understand girl code? Let me answer that for you. You don't, since you're betraying me by talking to John. Clara and Maddie burst out of the room. After I had heard Maddie storming out with Clara by her side, I had gotten up from my desk and gone into Sadie's bedroom. Sadie, are you okay? I heard some arguing. Oh, Sadie sniffled. Maddie found out that I was texting John. It's okay. She was bound to find out anyways. I'm sure if you give her some time to cool off, it'll be okay. You and Maddie have been friends for a long time now. Just give it some time. Sadie crawled into my arms, and I held her close. You knew Maddie would be upset. You knew this was going to happen, and sooner or later she would find out. It'll be okay. I promise. Like I said, this time and space. Girls need that sometimes. Sadie looked up at me, and she said, You're right, Bethany. Maddie has been there for me for a long time. So I'm sure we can get past this with time. Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it. Meanwhile, in the hallway of Sadie's house, Maddie was with Clara, complaining about Sadie's insensitivity. Can you believe the nerve of her? Honestly, how could she not know this was wrong? She was clearly in the wrong. Like, honestly, the girl needs to stay in her lane sometimes. And if she can't do that for herself, well then, I'll do it for her. Maddie proceeded to swiftly and angrily grab her phone from the table. Let's just see if this puts her back in her place. Clara looked on as Maddie fiercely tapped away at her phone screen. Maddie? Clara said nervously. Are you sure you should be typing that and putting that stuff out there? That's really personal. Maddie huffed and looked at Felicia. Honestly, Felicia, it's not even like it's that big of a deal. I'm not typing her name in there or tagging her in it. I doubt she'll even look at this page. Besides, she can't prove I submitted any of her secrets. It could be anyone. The most this will do is just make her think twice. Claire glanced up from the nasty things Maddie was typing. First of all, Maddie, you called me Felicia. I'm not your little sister. Secondly, do you think it's your place to make her think twice? I mean, half of the stuff you're submitting isn't even true. Maddie rolled her eyes at Clara. Clearly that poor girl was not picking up what she was putting down. Look, I'm sorry. I'm quite angry right now and I can't think straight. And it's not like what I'm submitting isn't based on the truth, she explained. It's just that some of it may be a wee bit exaggerated. It's not my fault if I have a creative mind. Maddie just proceeded to shrug it off and shrug off the rest of Claire's concerns. This was strictly between Sadie and Maddie. Eventually, Claire gave up on trying to persuade Maddie differently. Sadie decided it was time to make up and came out to see if the girls still wanted to spend the rest of the night with her. It all seemed good. Sadie was at her locker with Clara. All was good, and they were talking like true friends again. Well, Claire had to rush out because she forgot her pickle at the band room. Finally, the lunch bell had rung. A sophomore named Sarah came up to her and said, "Hey, you're Sadie, right?" Sadie had never seen the girl before. Yeah? The girl got a sly smile on her face. Oh, so is it true then? Sadie had a puzzled look on her face. Is what true? The girl snickered at her. Oh, come on, she said. You have to know what I'm talking about. Everyone's talking about it. I mean, honestly, haven't you seen it on Twitter? Sadie just got more confused as the girl kept talking. No, actually. I have no idea what you're talking about. I haven't even been on Twitter since this past Friday. At this point, Sarah was just laughing at her. Well, I'm just going to go with it's all true then. And if I were you, I would go check that confessional account. There's some good stuff on it. And with that, the girl turned and walked away. She got up and quickly whipped out her phone and tried desperately searching for that stupid confessional account Maddie had shown her the other night. Soon enough, she pulled it up. After scrolling through the first 5 tweets on the account, she ran into the bathroom and began crying. It wasn't until halfway through 4th block that Sadie had come into her class. Maddie also happened to be in her 4th block class. She happened to come in late, too. When the final bell rang, Sadie got up and went over to talk to Maddie. Hey, Maddie, can I talk to you? Please? Maddie looked up at her annoyed. Yeah, she drawled. I guess so. Sadie took a deep breath and continued. Look, I know we had a disagreement this Friday, but I thought we were okay and had moved on from that. Claire could feel the tension building in the room, so she slowly got up and walked away. Sadie took a deep breath and continued. Look, I know we had a disagreement this Friday, but I thought we were okay and had moved on from that. Maddie rolled her eyes. Yeah, Sadie, we did. I feel like I'm missing your point here. Sadie looked at her some more and sighed. Well, clearly we didn't, Maddie, because things I told you, and only you, are somehow in this stupid confessional account on Twitter. Everyone knows they're about me, she exclaimed. Maddie got up and grabbed her bag. She shook her head slowly and began to walk out of the room. She stopped and slowly turned around. Look, Sadie, Maddie said, you did a pretty hurtful thing to me on Friday. I may have been a bit heated and put some stuff out there. It wasn't my fault the account holder chose to use my submitted confessions. She began to walk away again before turning around for a final time. Besides, it's not my fault if people can put actions and names together. People are smarter than you give them credit for, Sadie. Sadie was ready to burst into tears again. She grabbed her stuff and ran out of the room. When she came home that day, even I could tell something bad had happened to her. I knocked on her door. There was no I knocked again, and slowly came into the room. I peered at her and said, "Oh, Sadie, what happened today? Please talk to me." She still didn't say anything. Finally, she looked up and said, "It was just a rough day, okay? Maddie and I got into a fight." I began to gently rub her back. I tried to soothe her. "Sadie, I'm really sorry. You're right. Junior year does suck, and there's no better way to put it. You know Maddie. She's always been a bit more emotional and likes to exaggerate a couple of things. But maybe it's a sign that you guys are just going your separate ways. That happens sometimes in high school. Friends grow apart for different reasons, and that's okay. You know, you still have your whole life ahead of you, and there's bound to be plenty of people who will go in and out of it. You just have to choose to keep the ones in it that are going to be positive and support you. If Maddie's not going to do that anymore, then maybe it's time to let her go. You shouldn't feel bad about that, okay?" Sadie sighed. "All right," she said. "Thank you. I know you mean that, and the advice helps. Sometimes things are just easier said than done." I looked at her. "Of course, Sadie," I said. "I will always be here for you, too. If you need anything, let me know. Don't forget, I have a pretty mean right hook, too, if Maddie starts to act up again." I winked at her and walked out of the room. The days began to pass, and Sadie seemed okay. My family did notice she was more quiet and in her room a lot more, but she said it was due to her growing workload at school. My mom asked one of her friends, who was a counselor, if that was normal, and she said it was for junior year, that usually the students became stressed with all the work they had to do in preparation for college. So it wouldn't be too unusual if Sadie was spending more time alone focusing on her work. But she wasn't focusing. She was only doing the bare minimum. Sadie was only doing what was now required of her and not going above and beyond as she usually had. When her teachers asked her about it, she just said she was stressed with family issues. Soon, months had passed, but each day of the month brought a new humiliation on from her classmates. Her friends had stopped talking to her, and Clara was too busy with softball that season to really spend any time with her. The rumors never stopped. Most of them weren't even true at that point, but it didn't matter anymore. Everyone still acted as if they were true. Sadie had begun to believe all the lies and rumors now, too. Her self-esteem was plummeting, and she felt no one was there to help her. John stopped talking to her completely. The only thing he had said to her had been a week after the incident. He walked up to her and said, "Hey, look, you're nice and all. It's just, I've been really busy now, so maybe later when everything's calmed down we can hang out." Sadie knew better, though. It was only because he didn't want to be seen with her. She was like the plague, except when people saw her, they didn't become ill. They just laughed and pointed. She couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't take the stares, the laughing, all the rumors and insults. She thought it would get better, and it never did. Finally, she just couldn't stand it anymore. When she realized she couldn't do it anymore, she couldn't listen to the lies, she made a decision, one that brought her peace inside.
I left at noon that day. I never came home, though. I had been hit by an oncoming train at 1:15 in the afternoon. People said I had tripped and fallen into the tracks at the wrong moment. People believed it, but I knew the real reason. All I could write to my sister Bethany was, "Bethany, I'm so sorry. You've always been there for me." But I wasn't able to be there for myself anymore. I love you so much and can never tell you how much I appreciated everything you have done for me. You are more amazing than I could ever imagine, and you are such an amazing person. I know you will go and do amazing things. I love you so much and always will. Love, your annoying little sister, Sadie.